What's going on YouTube? It's your girl Mercedes Gang. You feel me? The gang, because we don't come with no price tag. Period. Anyways, y'all, we here reacting to the real reason King Von was taken out. Now, this video was posted 6 hours ago, and you know, Von's death was just kind of completely like skeptical. You know, there was Rondo, an NBA YoungBoy, and then there was just himself. We all know Von was a demon, if you get what I'm saying. So we ain't even gonna talk much. Let's just get straight into the video.
On the night of November 6, 2020, hip-hop sensation King Von was shot multiple times outside the Monaco Hookah Lounge.
Oh, and by the way, it's hot as fuck. So if y'all see me wiping my face, don't mind. And also, if y'all catch my brother's cat in the background, don't worry about her.
In Atlanta. 3 years later, people are still trying to piece together the events of that fateful night. And now, finally, we've got insider information.
I can't make this up. For some reason, Von wasn't himself.
In this video, we peel back the layers of one of the most shocking hip-hop events of this decade, revealing the real reason why King Von died on that night. Stay locked in, because the truth is darker and more complex than you ever imagined.
Damn.
The night of the hit.
Damn.
On November 6, 2020, at around 2 a.m., an argument broke out between two...
Wow, the year I graduated. That's fucked up. Damn. That was a tough year. I forgot he died that year. Wow. What's going on? 4 years now. That's crazy.
Groups outside the Monaco Hookah Lounge in Atlanta, Georgia. The exact cause of the confrontation remains unclear, but tensions escalated quickly. King Von, always loyal to his crew and never one to back down, found himself right in the middle of the madness. Things heated up fast, and before anyone could blink, shots were fired. The situation spiraled out of control, and within moments, gunfire erupted. King Von was shot multiple times. On-duty and off-duty officers responded swiftly, attempting to intervene and stop the shooting. More guns.
So I was about to say, because in another video that I was watching, like just kind of on my personal stuff, my personal time, the cops like almost, I heard, or at least the video claims that the cops were kind of not in on it, but they knew what was about to go down, and they had been kind of watching them, and they were there that night too. So it was King Von's crew, Rondo's crew, and the cops. So it was a lot of people involved.
Fire followed as the officers confronted the shooters, adding to the chaos. Despite their efforts, the damage had already been done. King Von was rushed to a nearby hospital by a private vehicle, a desperate attempt to save his life. Unfortunately, he was pronounced...
and I think Quando, I'm not sure if this dude was trying to jack him for his belt or some shit, or, you know, hold him to say goodbye, but I do remember Quando and Von were friends at one point before all this.
Dead shortly after arriving at the hospital. He was just 26 years old. To many, his death was a shock. King Von had a promising future, and his sudden death left everyone questioning if there was more to the story. There is more, but to understand what led to that fateful night, we need to look back at the events that unfolded before that night. In the days leading up to his tragic passing, King Von was in Atlanta, Georgia, celebrating the release of his highly anticipated album, Welcome to O'Block. The album, which dropped in late October 2020, was a significant milestone in his career, showcasing his lyrical prowess and storytelling ability. Von's music was reaching new audiences daily, and his star was undeniably on the rise. On November 4th, 2020, Von appeared on DJ Academic's podcast to address ongoing rumors about a feud with fellow rapper NBA YoungBoy. During the interview, Von downplayed the conflict, attributing it to internet speculation and assuring fans that there was no real beef.
People told me you and YoungBoy was beefing or something like that. What happened, Von? What's going on with you, man?
Same taste in hoes. That's what gets you caught up. Like, motherfuckers really should be having feelings for these hoes.
They be saying that a lot. It's like we got the same issues in hoes, and then you know.
That's why I don't even hold around. I'm good. See,
don't tell me I got problems over.
Cause I promise you, you don't know what you're getting yourself into. You don't know what's gonna happen. So it's like for females or just everybody just doing what they do, holding around, it's like it's a dangerous game. It's a dangerous game. You better be careful.
For girls.
No, it's the internet game.
The next day, November 5th, Von woke up and gathered his entourage, which included his manager and around 20 others. That evening, they headed out to Opium nightclub, where Vaughn was set to make an appearance and promote his new project. He hopped into his bulletproof Hellcat, followed by 8 other cars filled with friends and associates. By midnight, they arrived at the club. Vaughn's manager noticed that something seemed off with him that night. He couldn't quite put his finger on it, but it felt like Vaughn wasn't himself, almost as if he knew something was about to happen.
Like I said, I got a dead homegirl that passed away on me when I was about 14. She was 15. She wasn't even she didn't even get to experience her freshman year yet. And she made a Facebook statement not even a couple hours prior before her death. So it's like, people got to understand, when somebody is acting off or weird or just not themselves, and it's a deep, deep feeling you feeling, something about to go down. So be ready. You know what I mean? Like, people, I'm telling you, I've mastered that feeling. I've mastered that skill a long time ago. So I'll call it out as soon as before it happens. They stayed at Opium for a few hours, and fans uploaded videos online of Vaughn enjoying himself at the club. Yeah. Everything seemed normal, but little did anyone know, these would be the last videos of King Von. Around 2 a.m., just 2 hours before his tragic end, Vaughn and his crew left the venue. According to his manager, everyone believed they were headed back to their Airbnb, but somewhere along the way, they lost sight of Vaughn's car. This was strange. It was completely out of character for Vaughn to vanish without a word. Panic set in as they realized he was missing.
Because normally, if we got an after party or we got anything we're going to, we know as a team. Everybody know to be on point. Right. You know what I'm saying? We're traveling with a real deal gangster, a real stepper. So everybody gonna know how to move. But from that night, I don't know what it was. Maybe it's God timing. I don't know what it was, but Vaughn completely went on his own course.
They started calling his phone, trying to figure out where he went. After several calls, they discovered that Vaughn had rerouted to an after-hours hookah lounge across town. A little before 3 a.m., Vaughn pulled up to Monaco Hookah Lounge, but decided to wait in his car while the rest of his entourage was still on their way. About 15 minutes later, Vaughn was still in his bulletproof vehicle, staying warm. His manager, followed by 6 other cars, pulled up to the parking lot. He hopped into the car with Vaughn and once again felt that something was off.
I can't make this up. For some reason, Vaughn wasn't himself. I'm not.
They're always not. You notice that? Or is it just me? Like, does anyone else notice it? When someone is about to pass away, usually hours before, they're not acting themselves. Like, come on. I've heard this story too many times, just a different name.
I'm not gonna lie. This is somebody who's more on point than security at. This is somebody, if I'm on the road with, I'm with him. Like, cause he know how to move. He know how to pick spots. Like, yo, this man is like, I promise you, the best artist I ever moved in my life.
They stayed in the car while the rest of the entourage waited in their vehicles due to the cold night. After a few minutes of talking, Vaughn's manager convinced him it was time to go inside. He informed the security team, who then performed their usual checkup to ensure the venue was clear of any threats. With Vaughn being a high-profile rapper, this was standard procedure before entering any venue. Since they couldn't bring weapons into the club, security left them in their cars. Just as they were about to walk in, one of Vaughn's friends alerted him that Quando Rondo was in a car just a few feet away.
See, if his friend just kept his mouth shut. Like, I understand the whole street life and all this and that and blah, 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 whatever. But this is just dumb. This is just dumb. Like, why would you tell him that? I mean,
Rondo is a rapper from Savannah, Georgia, and is known for his association with NBA YoungBoy. It's unclear whether Vaughn received...
Want to register for an LLC in 4 easy steps? I got you. Go to Taylor Brands and let's officially form your business.
The tip about Quando being at the club, or if it was a mere coincidence that they both ended up at the same location. This could have been the reason Vaughn seemed off that night, as he might have known something no one else did. Normally, Vaughn was calm, collected, and soft-spoken, but on this night, he was different, reacting on impulse. He jumped out of his vehicle and approached Quando without a second thought, not knowing if Quando was alone or had backup. In a flash, the two came face to face. Vaughn threw punches at Quando before any words could be exchanged. As the fight erupted, others rushed over. What Vaughn didn't realize was that the white vehicle Quando stood next to had his crew inside. At 3:20 a.m., just seconds into the brawl, a gunshot rang out from only a few feet away, striking Vaughn in the side and catching him completely off guard. The gunman, later identified as Lil Tim, emerged from behind the car and fired multiple shots. Vaughn was hit 3 to 4 times, and his manager was also shot in the leg. So why did Vaughn throw the first punches at Quando? Well, remember when Vaughn said the beef with NBA YoungBoy was no big deal? A lot of people think it was actually a big deal, and that
y'all niggas be getting y'all feelings about these hoes and shit and all this back and forth and rah rah rah. Man, y'all need to drop this shit and let it go. Let it go. Cause look at what it's doing. People dying. Like, your favorite artist is gone because of this dumb I just don't
Quando
get
was
it.
right in the middle of it all. The initial sparks of their beef can be traced back to social media
tragic.
and subtle jabs in their music. King Von, never one to hold back, during a live stream called out Youngboy's authenticity in his music, suggesting that the gangster persona he portrayed was more fiction than fact.
Youngboy talking about on this song, bro.
What?
You talking crazy.
I don't know about that. I looked into NBA Youngboy.
Rap.
Obviously, this did not sit well with Youngboy. Adding fuel to the fire, a photo surfaced online showing King Von holding hands with Youngboy's ex-girlfriend and baby mama Johnny Michelle. And as we all know, Youngboy has always been known for his possessiveness over his girlfriends and his exes. When Youngboy saw King Von with his ex, he took it as a direct insult. He didn't take it lightly at all. He fired back with a series of...
I don't get it. She's an ex. She's an ex. Like, why? I just don't get it.
Mysterious posts and even made a song with King Von's ex, Asian Doll. The back and forth between the two rappers got heated, with both sides attacking each other's credibility and street reputation. Things got even more intense when Youngboy's close ally, Quando Rondo, jumped into the mix. Quando, who had a tight bond with Youngboy, took on the beef and started openly supporting him. This wasn't the first time Quando took on Youngboy's battles. Back in 2020, when Kodak Black and Youngboy clashed, Kodak accused Youngboy of cooperating with the police after a stabbing incident at his home. This sparked a social media feud between Kodak and Youngboy. Quando stepped in and backed Youngboy all the way. At one point, Quando even went on Instagram Live and was filmed burning the merch for Kodak's label Sniper Gang.
Is it that deep? Damn.
Man, we NBA, man. What's on that shit?
Quando embodies the true meaning of ride or die when it comes to Youngboy. The animosity between King Von and NBA Youngboy kept escalating, evolving from music and social media jabs to something much deeper and personal. Many believe this intense feud played a significant role in King Von's tragic death. However, some people think it wasn't just the beef with Youngboy. They believe King Von's gang affiliations were the real reason he was taken out. Gang
I told y'all.
affiliation.
See, that's what I was really going to say at the beginning of the video, is that obviously NBA Youngboy and the Rondo situation could be a very big factor. But also, let's not forget this nigga was a demon. Serial. If you know what I'm talking about, you know. If you know, you know. If you don't, go look it up. Serial. Serial. Like, dude. This guy was he was murking people. Like, you didn't think he had that motive to just like, oh, he there? Bet. You know what I'm saying? Like, it's sad.
King Von grew up in the notorious Parkway Gardens on Chicago's South Side. This
Everybody
area,
else trying to
infamously
prove
known as
something. It's
O-Block,
like,
is a stronghold for the
chill
Black
with that.
Disciples, one of Chicago's most feared street gangs. In its early years, Parkway Gardens was seen as a sign of progress. The well-kept buildings, green spaces, and community facilities were a huge improvement over the crowded and run-down housing many African-American families had experienced before. The area was bustling with life, and there was a strong sense of community among the residents. Families moved in with dreams of a better future, and for a while, it seemed like those dreams were within reach. However, the early optimism didn't last. Economic hardships began to hit hard.
Yeah, because I heard it's bad in Chicago. It's so bad that it's like if you don't have no money, no scholarship, or nothing, like you're not getting out of there alive, most likely. And if you are, you're probably going to jail. You're going to jail. You're going to jail. I'm just saying. I mean, it's either join a gang, get hit in a crossfire that you had nothing to do with, or you end up in jail. So, people go to school.
By the 1960s and 1970s, Parkway Gardens started to decline. The loss of manufacturing jobs combined with systemic neglect led to rising unemployment and poverty. As money dried up, the once well-maintained buildings began to fall apart, and the strong sense of community started to disappear. The 1980s and 1990s were a turning point for Parkway Gardens. The rise of gang activity and the crack cocaine epidemic.
I was about to say, it was pure. It was pure back then. It was pure. It was, boy.
New challenges to the neighborhood.
It was
Gangs like
bad.
the Black Disciples and the Gangsta.
I only know that because my mama was born in the 80s, okay? She lived out through the 90s, so she told me so many stories about Big Meech, like everything. She done seen it all.
Disciples took over, and violence became a daily reality for many residents. The once lively streets filled with children playing and neighbors chatting now echoed with gunshots and sirens. It was during this tough period that King Von was raised in O-Block. Growing up in the 1990s and 2000s, Vaughn was very aware of the dangers that surrounded him. The environment he was raised in demanded a sharp survival instinct, navigating the dangerous dynamics of gang life. For many young men like Vaughn, joining a gang was a way to protect themselves and earn respect in a world that offered few other opportunities. No one knows exactly when King Von was introduced to the Black Disciples, but many speculate it happened at a young age. Growing up in O'Block, Vaughn sought guidance and acceptance in a world that offered little else. The gang became his surrogate family, providing him with support and a sense of identity. The Black Disciples was formed in the 1960s by David Barksdale, also known as King David. The gang initially emerged as the Devil's Disciples. They later evolved into the Black Disciples after
No. What the fuck? Y'all are literally demons at this point. Demons! Like, you're telling me the Devil's Disciples. Oh, yo. You got me fucked up. Fuck, I'm done. Please, kids, if any younger folks watching, please do not join no gang. Do not try to be like any of these dudes out here, because you are not earning no badges. You are not nothing. You're just going to end up dead or in jail. So please, like I said, go to school, play sports, be a normal kid, because this is not the move.
Merging with the Gangster Disciples to form the Black
Gangster
Disciples.
It's sad, especially because I know it's hard, especially in an environment. I grew up in this type of environment. You know what I'm saying? Multiple times. Like, at least twice in my life. I grew up in this type of badass environment. And I did not try to let it get to me. Sorry, y'all. I try not to let it get to me in any type of way, shape, or form, because imagine, like, walking to school and you see, like, a dead body around the corner. You know what I mean? Like, don't nobody want to see that. You know what I'm saying? Don't nobody... It's just, like I said, it's that lifestyle. You gotta be 10 toes down. Like, you can't... Nah.
Nation. This alliance, however, eventually splintered, leading to the formation of the distinct Black Disciples and Gangster Disciples
early age, too.
The Black Disciples quickly gained a reputation for their structured organization and ruthless tactics. They established themselves as a dominant force in Chicago's criminal underworld, engaging in various illegal activities, including drug trafficking, extortion, and violent crimes. The gang's influence expanded significantly during the 1980s crack cocaine epidemic, which saw them tighten their grip on several Southside neighborhoods, including Englewood and the Robert Taylor home. King Von affiliation with the Blood Disciples gang influenced every aspect of his life, shaping his lyrics, style, and overall persona. In tracks like Demons, King Von delivered gritty verses such as "Talking About Bodies, I Got a Few," 4 + 3, 3 + 2, hinting at his...
See, and this is why I'm not even comfortable with the fact that people saying this, but everyone is always talking about how King Von is looking up at us. I'm like, whoever made that up, or whoever came up with that, you are wrong. You're wrong. Wrong.
His involvement in violent activities. While this authenticity garnered him fame, it also attracted trouble. King Von found himself entangled in frequent legal battles and being connected to multiple murders due to gang rivalries. One of the murders Von is speculated to have committed was the killing of Gakira Barnes. Gakira Barnes, known on the streets as K.I., was born in Chicago.
I heard they was having a little flirties going back and forth at one point. I don't know.
Illinois. Growing up in the south side of Chicago, she was exposed to violence and gang culture from a young age. By her early teens, Gakira had already become involved with the St. Lawrence Boys, or STL, a faction of the Gangster Disciples. STL was based around St. Lawrence Avenue, a street that would become synonymous with her name. Gakira quickly gained a reputation in STL.
Yeah, I heard she was a shooter. She was an assassin. Forget all that. She was an assassin, straight up. What was his name? T-Roy? That nigga was an assassin. Like, boy, I'll be sitting here like, how the fuck do y'all... I don't get it.
For being fearless and ready to get involved in violent activities. She wasn't just another member.
And then
she was becoming a prominent figure in the
gang.
Her notoriety grew as she allegedly took part in several shootings and violent clashes with rival gangs, especially O'Block, a faction of the Black Disciples that King Von was said to be a part of. The rivalry between STL and O'Block was intense, with both sides suffering numerous casualties over the years. One of the most significant events that propelled Gakira into the spotlight was the murder of her close friend, Shondale Gregory, known as Tuka.
See,
Tuka
it always either leads back around Tuka, O.D. Perry, or you know what I'm saying, JoJo. Like it's always leading back to a main original like person. I'm just
in January 2011, and his
Damn.
death became a rallying point for
This is
STL.
fucked up all the
Gakira,
way.
deeply affected by the loss, reportedly sought revenge. This desire for retribution fueled her actions and solidified her reputation as a feared and respected member of STL. The relationship between Gakira and King Von was a complex and multifaceted one, marked by a blend of rivalry, mutual respect, and moments of unexpected friendship. Their interactions, primarily conducted through social media, provide a window into the contradictory nature of their connection. Their first significant encounter occurred on September 25th, 2012, when they ran into each other on a local train.
Why are you not investing in tax links?
I don't care.
Why are you
Move,
not
man.
investing into one of the...
What is wrong with these people?
The encounter quickly turned physical, with
Well,
Von
not
landing
much.
several punches to
I hear
Gakira's
you.
face. This altercation set the stage for a series of interactions that would oscillate between hostility and a strange form of mutual recognition. Following the train incident, King Von took to Twitter to boast about the altercation, claiming that an opposing gang member got caught off guard. Gakira responded by mentioning her injuries and threatening Von with her .40 caliber firearm. This exchange marked the beginning of frequent social media interactions between the two. Von supposedly showed a fondness for Gakira, even urging her to leave the gang life. However,
Oh, damn. Okay, see. I'm not gonna say Von like cared about her. What is it, girl? What's up, huh? I'm not gonna say Von cared about her, but like, y'all wanna meet her? There she is. Now go on. I know you want your little pats, but not right now. But for him to tell her, like, to give her a chance to leave, like, out of this whole thing, it's like, damn, dude. Yeah, I'm sorry, but it's like, if I was in a spot like that and an op is telling me, hey, man, like, just leave this shit, you know what I'm saying? Like, I'd probably listen at that point. Like, is this even worth my life? You know? The person that's trying to kill me is literally telling me, giving me a chance. So, but because of ego and pride and showing this and earning badges and respect and there's no talking out of that.
However, Gakira's closest friend was skeptical, thinking Von's motives were not genuine. There were fears that Von's affection might have been a ruse to harm her, rather than a true display of care.
Yeah, he wanted to be her boyfriend. He just felt like he was trying to set her up and kill her.
As violence between the gangster disciples and their rivals escalated, Gakira Barnes found herself at the heart of the conflict. Law enforcement suspected Gakira of being involved in multiple shootings, including at least one murder. Rumors on the street suggested she could have been linked to as many as 15 shootings. On April 11, 2014, tragedy struck the
Like I
streets
said, assassin. She was an assassin.
of Woodlawn. A hooded gunman approached Gakira in front of a home on the 6400 block of South Eberhart and opened fire, hitting her 7 times. 2 young men were also wounded in the attack, but it was clear Gakira was the target. Police even speculated that her own gang might have wanted her gone, viewing her as a source of escalating violence. After Gakira's murder, King Von came under police scrutiny as a person of interest. Despite being questioned, authorities couldn't charge him due to inconsistent witness testimonies. But Gakira's murder isn't the only one linked to King Von. He is also rumored to be involved in the killing of Modell McCambry, a member of a rival gang. On October 13th, 2012, Modell and his 18-year-old cousin were on their way to meet a girl when someone opened fire on them in the 6300 block of South Rhodes Avenue. Modell was
63rd.
taken to Stroger Hospital with a gunshot wound to the chest but didn't survive. On the day Modell died, Von tweeted about popping pills and spazzing out. He followed that with a tweet expressing frustration that he hadn't taken anyone down for a while. Later, Von tweeted about canceling his rival's party and followed that with a request for someone to come get him. 30 minutes later, he simply tweeted, "Ha." Many believe these tweets are directly connected to Modell's murder, but that's not all. King Von is also rumored to be involved in the murder of Lil Mark, a rapper associated with the 051 Young Money crew. In 2014, Lil Mark dropped a track called No Competition, a remix of Lil Durk and Lil Reese's song Competition. In the song, Lil Mark used Lil Durk's beat to diss him and his crew, including several members of the Black Disciples or Block and their affiliate crew 600. He openly declared himself a Black Disciple killer and proudly repped his 051 Young Money affiliation. This bold move made Lil Mark a prime target for O-Block and 600. Around this time, King Von frequently tweeted about being in traffic, which many speculated meant he was armed and hunting for rivals. On March 28th, Lil Mark was shot and killed at a bus stop. While D. Rose was believed to be the shooter, King Von was present at the scene, later tweeting disrespectfully about the murder. While Von wasn't arrested for these murders, he was speculated to be involved. However, there are other murders he was actually charged with. Criminal record. One of the murders King Von was officially charged with was the killing of Malcolm Stuckey, a 19-year-old college student who tragically lost his life in a crossfire involving King Von and the Black Disciples. The tragic events unfolded on a fateful day in May 2014 in the Englewood neighborhood of Chicago. Malcolm, a college basketball player and museum janitor, arrived at a friend's birthday party, unaware of the danger lurking ahead. As Malcolm approached the lively gathering at a two-story house on South LaSalle Street, the whole place was buzzing. However, tension simmered beneath the surface. Among the attendees was 19-year-old rapper King Von. Spotting rival gang members at the party, King Von chose to leave, sensing imminent trouble. The party's host and another Black Disciples member warned King Von not to cause any trouble. Assuring them of his peaceful intentions, he left, leaving an uneasy atmosphere behind. But King Von's departure was only temporary. Teaming up with an accomplice, Michael Wade, he retrieved a .40 caliber Smith & Wesson pistol. This weapon, obtained months earlier in Mississippi, would soon bring devastation to Englewood. Without warning, all hell broke loose. King Von and Wade opened fire on the unsuspecting crowd, shattering the peace of the birthday party. Panic erupted as partygoers scrambled for safety, trying to make sense of the terrifying scene. Malcolm Stuckey and another man tried to flee down LaSalle Street, desperate to escape the bullets, but fate had other plans. Both were hit by the gunfire. Their lives changed forever in an instant. Tragically, Stuckey was fatally shot in the head, sealing his fate on that fateful night. It didn't take long for investigators to piece together the events of that tragic night. Witnesses came forward, providing crucial information that quickly led the authorities to King Von and his accomplice, Michael Wade. On the day of their arrest, law enforcement officials apprehended King Von and Wade. The charges against King Von were severe: 1 count of murder and 2 counts of attempted murder. Wade, already facing charges before Von's arrest, now faced upgraded charges including murder and 2 counts of attempted murder, further solidifying the case against him. During initial interrogations, King Von remained.
Do not pay somebody to build you a Shopify store, because I'm going to do it free with 20 handpicked products by
silent, refusing to cooperate with the police. Michael Wade, however, initially agreed to testify against his friend, offering detailed accounts of the events leading up to and following the shooting. This cooperation seemed like a significant breakthrough for the prosecution. During the chaos, Wade confessed to firing his weapon multiple times, targeting one of the victims. The magnitude of the violence was clear, with over 20 shell casings recovered at the scene, a stark reminder of the devastation they caused. As the trial progressed, a significant twist occurred. Michael Wade withdrew his promise to testify against King Von, leaving the prosecution scrambling to salvage their case. Without Wade's testimony, the prosecution's case weakened considerably, and the defense seized the opportunity to argue for King Von's innocence. King Von and Michael Wade were both acquitted of murder charges. However, Wade was convicted of aggravated battery with a firearm and sentenced to 28 years in prison. But that's not all. King Von was also charged and taken to court for the shooting of Alexander Witherspoon. This event happened on February 5th, 2019. A quiet night in Midtown Atlanta turned violent at The Varsity, a popular local restaurant. Lil Durk and King Von got into a heated argument with Alexander Witherspoon, a 23-year-old Vice Lord member known for his card cracking and scamming activities on Chicago's East Side. The tension quickly escalated from words to bullets. Witnesses reported hearing 13 shots, with 1 bullet striking Witherspoon in his femoral artery. Bleeding heavily, Witherspoon stumbled across the road and collapsed in front of the One Cigar Lounge, leaving late-night customers in shock. As witnesses called 911, an SUV with 300 on the side was seen speeding away. Emergency services arrived quickly, taking Witherspoon to the Atlanta Medical Center for emergency surgery. Meanwhile, detectives began their investigation, interviewing witnesses and collecting evidence from the chaotic scene. They found 13 shell casings from both a pistol and a rifle, and a 9mm handgun nearby. The case initially went cold for nearly 3 months. Then, on May 4th, 2019, a breakthrough occurred. King Von was arrested by Chicago police on charges related to the Varsity shooting. On May 29th, 2019, the legal noose tightened around Lil Durk as the Atlanta police issued an arrest warrant for the rapper. The warrant charged him with 5 felonies, including a major charge of attempted murder, which typically carries a sentence of 10 to 20 years in prison. The same day the warrant was announced, Lil Durk released a song titled Turn Myself In, featuring dark lyrics that seemed to reference a dire situation. Later that day, he surrendered himself to authorities at the Fulton County Jail, joining King Von, who was already in custody. The court proceedings began with Lil Durk and King Von appearing before a Fulton County judge. The charges were laid out, and the evidence against them was briefly discussed. An Atlanta Police Department detective named Jeffrey Churchill Churchill took the stand, revealing key pieces of evidence that painted a grim picture for the defendants. One of the most damning pieces of evidence was the testimony of a female witness who claimed to have been talking with Lil Durk and King Von when the incident occurred. She stated that a fight broke out in the car in front of them, and she saw Lil Durk pull out a firearm while shots rang out. The court also mentioned that Alexander Weatherspoon had a firearm at the time and could have fired the first shot, adding a layer of complexity to the case. Another critical piece of evidence was the alleged surveillance footage. The footage reportedly showed an arm, rumored to be Lil Durk's, hanging out the window of a gray and red camo Trackhawk with 300 plastered on the side, firing a firearm.
You see Mr. Banks' arm out the window firing several shots at the victim.
Prosecutors described the case as gang-related and even flew a Chicago police captain to Atlanta to confirm that Lil Durk and King Von were documented members of the Black Disciples. The courtroom was tense as these revelations unfolded, painting a picture of a violent and chaotic night that had far-reaching consequences. At the end of the hearing, it was determined that Lil Durk and King Von would remain in the Fulton County Jail. 6 days later, prosecutors submitted a request to Fulton County Judge Kevin Farmer to deny Lil Durk bond, arguing that the charges were too serious. However, Judge Farmer rejected the request, granting Lil Durk a $250,000 bond due to his cooperation and lack of flight risk. The conditions included wearing an ankle monitor, following a strict curfew, and staying away from firearms. Lil Durk was released from jail that night, and King Von followed the next day on a $300,000 bond. The charges against Durk were dropped in October 2022. Lil Durk chose to slow down and focus on his music career, channeling his energy into creating new content and staying out of further legal trouble.
I'm sorry, y'all. I didn't even know that the charges were dropped recently. You know what I'm saying? I understand 2022 was like 2 years ago, but like I'm thinking this ended like a while ago. I didn't know it was an ongoing thing still. So I see why. Now it all makes sense. It all ties back together because everyone was like, why you ain't getting no justice for Vaughn? Why you ain't going up to justice for Vaughn? Like, I see it now. I get it. You know what I'm saying? Like he wants a normal life.
King Von, however, continued to live a fast and dangerous lifestyle, which led to his death. The exact reason for King Von's death.
Yep. Think about it. That makes sense, though. If he took Durk's route and just focused on his music and his family, you know what I'm saying? Like, he'd probably be alive to this day. Who knows? But I hope y'all enjoyed the video. Like, share, subscribe, turn on your bell notifications, all that jazz. If you want to show some love, show some love. If you don't want to, it's all good. Say this game ain't gonna be butthurt. Anyways, y'all, I'm gonna catch y'all in another mother freaking video. Deuces.